Let's start home. Charity begins at home.
Exactly.
I think parents have a lot to do when it comes to mitigating sexual relationships among students.
Okay.
How we just blame the internet now for
What's up?
this exposure.
Yes.
Yes, we can also have parents help the students. How do they do that? They do that by
All right. On today's edition, we'll be talking about relationships among secondary school students. Basically, the sexual relationship among secondary school students. And I won't be doing that alone. And on that, I'll be inviting my co-host, Mr. Chukwuebuka Emmanuel John.
My name is Emmanuel Chukwuebuka, as he rightly said, and we're looking at a very sensitive but very important topic: sexual relationship amongst students. Yes, this topic brings to mind what's happening right now. We cannot run away from the truth, which is people must relate. People must have relationship. But then, how do we mitigate sexual relationship among students? How do we make sure that their relationship is purely platonic and not that is filled with sexual urge and all that? So that's the essence of our program today. So where do we begin from?
All right. We'll be starting with what are those things that are obtainable in secondary school to start with, because I know in generations before, I can tell you that our parents of today and our parents of yesterday, they were once secondary school students.
True.
You understand? And I don't believe the things that are happening in secondary school now used to happen. So where did it start? There is an adage that says that if you know where the rain starts to beat you, I know you can complete that. But it all goes down to what is the root cause, because we need to know where it started from for us to now talk about how to offer solution to it. So I beg for your intelligence. Please educate the community. Where did this problem start from?
If you ask me, I would say the internet has done a lot of things. For everything that has a good side, there's the other side of it.
Okay.
Um, Back to our parents' time, yes, things happen, but it's not as intense as it is right now.
Exactly. Yes.
So let's blame the internet, let's blame social media, let's blame technology. For the advent of technology, we now have more exposure. Children are more exposed to sexual vibes. So they want to practicalize things they see online. And yes, to answer that question, uh, that's the root cause of this heightened sexual relationship among students.
All right, that's one way to it. The internet, definitely it has helped. I can tell you that a lot of people have broken the financial wage that be holding them down because of the internet.
True.
A lot of people have widened their horizon in terms of knowledge because of the internet. But like you rightly say, whatever have an advantage also have a disadvantage.
True.
And then that's where the disadvantage comes in, because there are a lot of uncensored content in the internet, and these children are exposed to it. Now, if we are blaming the internet wholly, what about control? But I think we'll talk about that in a way to prevent these sexual relationships among secondary school students. Now, it's not only about talking about the causes.
Okay.
What do you think is the solution to this problem? Because it has really eaten deep into the moral context of these children.
Yes. Our program tackles parents, teachers, and students.
Exactly.
And I tell you, these three parties, they have roles to play.
Yes.
Um, let's start home. Charity begins at home.
Exactly.
I think parents have a lot to do when it comes to mitigating sexual relationship among students.
Okay.
How we just blame the internet now for
What's up?
this exposure.
Yes.
Yes, we can also have parents help the students. How do they do that? They do that by censoring the contents or things that these children are exposed to.
Exactly.
Parents should reduce the way they allow students, their children now, have access to the internet. You protect your children from the world, and then you give this child a phone with the internet. I mean, you're handing over the
The
world
word to the child.
to the child.
But if you look at it this way, what about giving your child the world, yet protecting your child from the world? I can tell you that giving the child the phone is not a problem,
Yeah,
but the parental control to the phone now is where the problem
True.
is. if I know very well, I know that YouTube, I know that Netflix, I know that some of these internet have restrictions,
Parental control.
parental controls,
Yes.
where you can place passwords to some of these websites, and then the children will not be able to access them. But
May
then,
I add,
okay,
right, that parents can go as far as having spy app on the children's phone, where this app now mirrors what is happening on the child's phone.
okay,
Yes,
and gives it the parents
yes. So
information
this parent is seeing what's happening,
in the phone.
especially when your child is less than 18. It's not, no, you say privacy and all that. No, it's not.
I wanted to talk about that. In a secondary school that I know very well, they were talking about putting cameras in toilets. And in toilet of nursery school and primary school students. Oh. And if you see how they were raising up rules about privacy of my children, privacy of my children, and I was like, these are just children. But
Yeah.
then I know there should be privacy actually. But then the
Yeah.
privacy shouldn't be at the expense of their moral build. The parents, you can't talk about privacy where your parents are. If they can go through what you're going through the phone, it helps to censor a lot of things.
True.
Definitely.
It will go a long way if parents can pay attention to what their children do.
Exactly.
Not just to buy them expensive food,
Exactly.
but check
Now-
what they're actually doing
now-
with that food.
Now, in order not to extrapolate this, in order not to waste time, but still, I have to say it.
Okay.
When you talk about parents having time for their children, would you relate it to the economic situation of the country? Because when you want to have time for your child, and you have a very demanding job, and you know it is this job that actually provides the financial capacity to take care of that child, then you see that there is a conflicting activities.
True.
How do you want to carve out time? Now, if you want to relate this to what was happening in the recent years,
Okay.
you understand? You find out that the economic situation was not talked about. How do we correlate the time spent on work and the time spent in taking care of the child? Because you know that these parents, they actually need the money. When you want to talk about what was happening in the olden days, where the mothers are full-time housewives and they have to take care of the children at home, while the father goes out to fend for whatever they need to use to take care of the child. But these days, it's not the same. Now,
Yeah.
how do we create that balance?
Okay. Truly, the times is different now, but then there are priorities. Um, a parent, a mother should know that, okay, my child, I need to pay attention to my child. If we start to see raising our children as a mission work, as they will say, as they will explain, we start taking it as important as whatever any other thing in our life. Then we are going to place priority on making sure that yes, so we are hustling for this money, but our own will not spoil. Our children will not go astray because we are trying to make money, and that's the biggest problem we have. Parents just want to spoil their children with gifts and take them out, buy them phones and all that, but then the main
The main
essence,
thing.
which is
The main thing.
morality, which is value, is not there. So
All right.
that's the
All
challenge.
right. And almost lastly, I would want us to talk about what effect does this engaging in sexual relationship have on these children? How
Ah,
does it affect their academics? How does it affect their overall life and all?
okay, you are an educator, I am an educator,
Yeah.
and we've seen these things firsthand,
Exactly.
where you are teaching a child, and this child is in his own
Fantasizing.
world, like he's in his own world.
Exactly.
A male student will see a female teacher and he's thinking of wrong. We've seen situation where a child is busy drawing the buttocks
backside
of a
Exactly.
female staff
Exactly.
know,
It's messed
in
up
a class.
in a classroom
We-
where
we-
subjects are holding.
we've seen extreme. I was told of a particular core member who a student in junior class was writing love letter to her. Dear auntie, I love you. Those kind of things.
So at a time, it just divides the child attention.
That's the
And
point.
the worst aspect is that it gives a large chunk of it to this more immoral aspect.
Yeah.
Giving just a small aspect of it to education. And you need that 100% concentration to pick up on these subjects that are being taught these children.
True.
So it has actually eaten deep.
And
And you know that from here is into the society.
yeah.
So what are we pushing into that society? That's where the problem is. When we can't take care of them now, what will now happen in the society? Now we've talked about parents. Now let's talk about the teachers. What
Okay.
are the actual input of the teacher in trying to curb these societal manners that is affecting
Very
the
good.
secondary school?
That's what we encourage teachers to be role models. First, teachers should not dress provocatively.
Yeah.
You dress well. You advise these students.
You
You
model
speak,
what you
yes,
preach.
You speak life to them. You make them understand that see, there's time for everything. As I will always tell my students, see, this thing you are on, you will get tired. There's time for everything. There's time. So as much as you tell them, some of them don't actually know what they're doing. They are this experimental stage of their life. They want
Yeah,
to.
they want to
I
get
saw this thing. I want to find out. My friend said this thing is happening. I want to find out. So we must,
very inquisitive.
yeah, we must guide the student. Come, this thing you are doing, it's not like this. So we must be intentional in the way we guide the student.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Unless,
Yeah.
of course, you have any other thing to impute.
No,
But at this stage, I think we have come to the end of this wonderful session
Yeah.
where we really want to trash out this issue of sexual immorality in secondary school. And I believe as you're watching us, you are going to give us your own input in the comment section. And from there, we pick it up.
yeah.
Definitely, we are going to send morally sound students into the society because that is our goal.
That's our
Because from secondary school, right from nursery school, primary school, secondary school, the society is built. If you send in half-baked children, if you send in morally dead children into the society, then what do you expect? Definitely, the society will keep getting rotten. And at the end of the day, we blame the government. But in actual sense, who are the government? Thank you very much. In this
Thank
particular
you.
episode of sexual immorality among secondary school students. Please stay back, comment, like, share, do whatever it is to promote the page. And I bet you that education, that children that we are trying to push up, are going to give the society the best name that we can get up. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you so very much for having me.
It's all right, sir.